Demon Slayer Infinity Castle just became the highest grossing anime film ever. That's over $587 million worldwide, and it's still climbing. That's more than Spirited Away, and it even topped the 26-year-old record held in North America by Pokemon the first movie. And I still have my Ancient Mew card. But box office numbers don't explain why this story hits like a blade to the ribs. Plenty of anime are flashy, plenty have swords, demons, big emotional fights, and it's not just K-pop demon hunters. So why does Demon Slayer feel like it slices straight into your chest when others just skim the surface? So today we're digging into the 5 key ingredients plus 1 secret ingredient that makes Demon Slayer cut deeper than the rest. So what's cooking, my fellow plotheads? I'm Brian, a Hollywood insider and story consultant. This is the main course where we break down a single story ingredient by ingredient to see why this recipe cooks. Today, I'm serving up the 5 storytelling ingredients that make Demon Slayer cut deeper, plus 1 secret ingredient.
The secret ingredient of my secret ingredient soup.
That explains why this franchise skyrocketed. So sharpen your blades, practice your total concentration breathing, and let's dive in. Let's start with the core. A lot of shonen heroes begin with a single dream. Naruto wants to be the Hokage. Luffy wants to be the king of the pirates, and Deku wants to be the world's greatest hero. All noble, and I love all 3. But over time, these stories kind of branch into side quests, filler arcs, and endless subplots. Demon Slayer avoids that pitfall, because Tanjiro's vow is razor sharp. Save Nezuko, stop Muzan. That's it. One thread pulled through the entire series. That's why you never feel lost. The mission stays clear and urgent. It's not just what Tanjiro is running toward, but it's also what he's running away from. And that pressure compounds with every brutal decision he has to make. Compare that to Bleach, which I also love. Infamous for filler arcs that drift from Ichigo's actual drive. Demon Slayer feels focused, lean, and purposeful. And yeah, you're probably like me, I'm still a little sad that Demon Slayer didn't stretch into more seasons. But that brevity actually makes every beat matter more. Because with some long-running series that don't know when to quit,
you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Takeaway 1. A clear vow beats 1,000 side quests. So writers, anchor your story in one promise, and your audience will never feel lost. And don't just give your characters an objective to run toward, put a looming threat on their heels that they need to run away from too. Most shows treat a villain's defeat like a victory lap, right? They pose, credits, move on. But Demon Slayer flips that on its head. Every victory feels like a funeral. Because every demon was once a human, and when they fall, the show insists that we see their humanity. Take Rui. We meet a terrifying spider demon. Seriously, he haunts me in my dreams. But when he dies, we learn he was just a fragile, lonely child. His hunger for family is twisted into cruelty, in many ways thanks to Muzan. The monster snaps back into tragedy. Or Daki and Gyutaro, flashy, relentless, vicious. At the end, we don't just cheer. Sure, we're glad the fight's over, but we're also kind of sad. We watch these siblings just walk into the afterlife hand in hand, finally free. And that isn't just a boss fight, that's heartbreak. And Tanjiro mirrors this. He doesn't celebrate, he mourns. He gives every fallen demon dignity in their final moment. Compare that to Jujutsu Kaisen. Curses are terrifying. For many of them, they're faceless. There are fears personified, so you don't really cry for them. But Demon Slayer, it dares you to. And takeaway 2. If you can mourn your villain, your audience will too. So writers, ask yourself, how can your villain's end feel like a funeral and not just a finish line? Here's the next trap. Power systems that collapse into who can shoot the biggest laser. Now yeah, it can be cool and fun, but things like Dragon Ball, a show I love. A new hair color, louder aura. Then you have Bleach, Bankai. It's really cool, but it's not personal. Demon Slayer answers that with breathing styles. On the surface, they're sword techniques. Underneath, they're built on an older truth, that breath is life. And this is something that I learned in my years in Taekwondo. In martial arts, control your breath, and you control your body, your mind, and your spirit. That's why in Demon Slayer, style equals identity. Tanjiro starts with water. It's calm, it's adaptive, it's protective, then evolves towards sun breathing, this primal flame at the heart of his family's legacy. And the Hashira don't just have movesets. their personalities made visible. Tengen's sound, Guillaume's stone, Muichiro's mist, Mitsuri's love, Obanai's serpent. Every style is a worldview. Who you are becomes how you fight. So breathing does triple duty here. It's a combat system, it's a symbolic mirror of a fighter's personality and soul, and it's a lineage that ties every Slayer back to this original flame. That's why when the Hashira fight together, it's not just chaos. You get to see this incredible harmony of blades in different colors, shapes, and elements. A symphony of blades, each voice unique, all breathing the same air. Compare that to another one of my favorite shows, My Hero Academia. Now the quirks are really fun, but sometimes they're completely random. I mean, literally, one guy can turn people into meatballs. Demon Slayer's system is more of a metaphor. It's personal, ancestral, and adaptive, and that makes it unforgettable. Takeaway 3. Don't just hand your characters flashy abilities. Build powers that reflect identity, force growth, and make every new level feel earned. The more personal and purposeful the system, the more your audience will stay invested. Fantasy makes a promise. This world is dangerous. But how do you prove it? If heroes walk away unscathed, the danger is fake. Plot armor might protect your characters, but it kills your stakes.
Is that steak or charcoal?
So you really kind of have to put your characters through hell. Demon Slayer doesn't just hand out that shield. Its world is brutal, and every loss counts. We don't lose nameless extras, we lose people like Rengoku, the Flame Hashira, mentor and fan favorite. He falls right after becoming the beating heart of the story, an inspiration to our lead characters. His death doesn't just sting, it redefines the fight and redefines the series as it moves forward. If he can die, then no one is safe. Then there's the Ubuyashiki family. This isn't another death, it's the heart of the core, ripping itself open. Kagaya Ubuyashiki is blind, frail, carrying the weight of everyone who follows him. He doesn't just send soldiers, he walks into his home with his wife and his children, knowing exactly what's about to happen. Silence, a calm voice, a smile. Detonation. They burn themselves alive to wound Muzan and pull him out of hiding. And it's not to win, it's to buy one desperate chance for everyone else. It redefines the scale of sacrifice. This isn't a war where leaders sit safe while soldiers die. The lore isn't a paragraph in a handbook. It's engraved in emotion and taught through sacrifice. Attack on Titan gets this too. Death lands mid-sentence, mid-arc, with no ceremony. That brutality doesn't cheapen the world, it anchors it. Demon Slayer uses the same principle. Every loss writes a line into scripture. Takeaway 4. In a brutal world, survival can't come free. Plot armor might protect your heroes, but it robs your story of meaning. If you want your world to feel dangerous, let death shape it. Make sacrifices not just shocking, but transformative. Most stories pick a lane, grim or uplifting, but rarely both. Demon Slayer thrives on the collision. One moment, grotesque, body horror, demons ripping through flesh and changing shape. The next, breathtaking, flame and moonlight cutting through the dark. The horror makes the beauty burn brighter, and the beauty makes the horror sting sharper. Episode 19 is the poster child. Rui's threads suffocate the frame. Then Nezuko's blood art ignites, and the same scene turns radiant. And it isn't just one episode. Mugen Train fuses an entire train into a monster. It's pure body horror. Then lets Rengoku's fire burn against the night. In the entertainment district, Gyutaru is nightmare fuel. His veins are bulging, his skin is rotting. Against that shadow, Tanjiro's Hinokami Kagura lights the sky. Tengen turns chaos into fireworks. And in another season, Mitsuri looks delicate, almost playful, then cuts through brutality like a ribbon of hope. This isn't an accident. Ufotable paints in contrast, waves of violence, then almost holy bursts of light. It's a story about demons and hope, drawn in shadow and fire. Other series pick a strict flavor. Tokyo Ghoul is kind of drowning in despair. Your Name, on the other hand, is soaring in this sort of delicate beauty. But Demon Slayer marries these two. That tension is its signature. Takeaway 5. Don't pick one flavor. Let horror and beauty share the frame. The collision creates the magic. The duality creates contrast. Because light only matters if you've seen the dark. So finally, the secret ingredient. The thing that makes Demon Slayer shine. And that secret ingredient is the breadth of story itself. Now you're probably wondering, breadth of story itself? What does that even mean? Well, think about it this way. Too many action shows can wear you down. Sure, they can be fun, they can be entertaining, they can be wall-to-wall action. But if you just fight, every clash just starts to kind of blur together. You get spectacle, but you lose the soul. Demon Slayer does the opposite. Demon Slayer breathes. Inhale, the tension climbs. Exhale, silence, reflection, tenderness. That rhythm isn't just the fights, it's in the bones of the series. You don't just watch Tanjiro breathe, the show makes you breathe with him. And that's why this is the secret ingredient, because breath isn't just pacing, it's the connective tissue that makes every other ingredient land. Let's take a look. Tragedy cuts because the world stops long enough for the scars to sink in. Breathing styles are rhythm made visible, combat as music, identity as tempo. Shadows and light collide only when you give space between them. Breath isn't just part of the story, it's the heartbeat that keeps it alive. That's why Infinity Castle can go wall to wall with spectacle and still leave us exhilarated instead of just numb. The series paces itself like music. Crescendos of violence, diminuendos of stillness. Without breath, chaos is just noise. With breath, story has rhythm, and rhythm becomes meaning. And finally, takeaway 6. The secret ingredient is rhythm. Breath connects every element. Your vows, empathy, powers, tragedy, and tone. If your story breathes with your audience, every beat will land deeper, sharper, and stronger. So why does Demon Slayer cut deeper? Because every blade is sharpened on story. A vow that never breaks, victories that feel like funerals, power that mirrors identity, a world etched in scars, horror and beauty side by side, and a rhythm that makes us breathe with it. That's the recipe. And the proof. Millions of people around the world crying, cheering, and breathing together. So once again, I'm Brian. This is Plotluck. And if you've ever loved a story, felt let down by one, or dreamed of telling your own, pull up a chair, hit subscribe, and let's stir this plot together. That's a wrap.